Hello everyone, and today we're going to take a look at Nier Automata or Nier Automata, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of people have been saying it is a very bad PC port. Now when I played it, I never wasn't really paying much attention to the frame rates or anything like that, but I have since played it again, and there are a few issues with the game, chiefly of which is the resolution. Now, this is the original recording that I made of Nier Automata. We'll just show you that. This is the original recording right here. This was done with NVIDIA Shadowplay, and how I have mine set up, I have it set up to record the in-game resolution. So I had the in-game resolution set to 1080p with full screen, and this is what it recorded. You'll see details. You see the frame width and the frame height is 1768 by 992. Now this is not 1080p. Okay, it's not 1920 by 1080. That was the actual resolution that it was running at. You can see it right there because it records at the whatever the game's native resolution, it will record that. Okay. There is a few fixes to this. There is this fix right here, which comes from a Steam user called Cal Chaldean. I don't know how you say it, but this guy right here. Does have what's called FAR Fix Automata Resolution, which I have applied. I will have a video. We'll show you the video. I have it's all pre-recorded footage. I'm not going to show you things. So basically, installing this and running the game in windowed mode. I'll show you the result of the recording that I got. Interestingly, didn't put it into a folder. Put it into the desktop. What is it? Desktop. DWM's desktop Windows monitor or whatever. I don't know. I cannot remember. But this is the video that we recorded. I'm going to show you it in game. We'll show you a little bit of it later on in this video, and we'll show you the properties. As you can see, it records at 1920 by 1080. Now again, this was recording with in-game resolution enabled. I just record it, so 4K records at 4K, 1440p records at 1440p, and 1080p obviously records at 1080p. But that was a bit weird. I found that a bit weird. Didn't really notice it much in action. You do notice it on the Steam overlay that it's running at a lower resolution. Seems to be a bug with the full screen mode. There is certain things that you can get to force it into windowed, but I found this solution works for me. You just hit the installer, takes you to take to the GitHub page, download it, hit migrate, and it'll do it automatically. Basically, you just hit that. You can read the comments. You've got the frame rate counter and OSD, which we'll show you in the video. Anyway, we'll jump into the video for Nier Automata now, and we'll show you some of the things that it fixes and some of the issues, at least that I was having with the GTX 1070. Okay, so we have jumped into game right now, and we're running 1080p. Just show you what we're running. We're running with the 60 FPS cap. You can see the so we're running 1080p windowed mode. I will put a GTX 1070. It's not a GTX 107. MSAA, we've got it 2 times, which is fine for 1080p. If you're going up to 1440 or 4K, make sure you turn off anti-aliasing. Just turn it off because it's MSAA, which is quite taxing. Now I've left it at 2 times on my GTX 107, and as you can see, we get a reasonable 60 FPS. Now the frame rate does drop down here. It's not a locked 60. I've just left it at 60 so that it keeps the frame times even. You can see 16.7 milliseconds there. Whenever you go into a new area, as we're going to do here, then the frame rate does take a dive. It dips into the sort of low 50s. You'll see here, I think it's just as we go across this bridge. You'll see here the frame rate does take a little bit of a dip. dropped down, although the frame time was fine. The frame rate went down to 59. You can see there, down to 53 briefly, 54, and then back up to 60. There's a little bit of a hitch in the frame time as well. I say hitch is a bit of a spike, shall we say, in the frame time. Interesting, yeah, interesting little statistics. You can turn them off with the FAR. This is with the fix patching, so it's not quite a locked 60, but it's not too bad. You see another bit of a frame rate dip there. We drop down. Occasionally it'll dip down into the low 50s. At 1440p, this is more pronounced. I'm just thinking it's not very well optimized at 1440p. 1440p, it dips into the 40s, which is a hell of a lot worse. It does do 60 FPS, but it can't get anywhere near it locked on a GTX 1070, which is quite disappointing. 4K is just a write-off, really, at this stage. Although Platinum Games have issued a statement and said that they are going to be working on an official patch. But if you want to play at 1080p, I would recommend installing this mod at 1080p or higher, because otherwise it'll default to around less than 900p. A lot of people are thinking that that is the console version. I'm just going back through this indoor area just to see if there's any real dips in the performance. There's a lot of camera transitions here. We've got like the... Oh crap. I got hit there. That didn't go so well. Try some of the indoor in this factory setting where we were for the opening. And it's not too bad. It's sticking pretty rigidly. I like a 60 FPS cap simply because it keeps the frame time. You can see the frame time there at 16.7 milliseconds. It's nice and stable. Again, I think it's more important having the... oh, those dudes in here get the shields. That's interesting. It's more important to have, I think, a stable frame rate than a high frame rate. Just because it keeps the frame pacing even. I mean, that's what that 16.7 milliseconds is what you're seeing there next to the FPS. Fluctuates around a little bit, but it's not too bad. That's basically how long it takes to render a frame. Basically, 60 FPS, that is the target. 30 FPS, I think it's 33 point something, 33.3 or something like that, 33.5 maybe. I don't know, but it's 33 is the standard time. You could get over 60 FPS, you could maybe get 100, 120, but again, that frame rate counter would, the frame time counter would be going all over the place. With a stable frame rate, with an uncapped frame rate, should we say. We'll head back out into the world. Yes, this is the footage that I pre-recorded earlier. We're gonna head out into the open world again, and we'll see if it will drop. Yeah, it does a little. Well, we lost like 0.1 of a frame. That's nothing really. Let's see if it drops any when we get out here. But nah, it's fairly stable. My suggestion would be, if you're going for, there you go, we got a dip there. If you're going for 1440p, make sure you disable anti-aliasing. This was all the stuff we got when we died, quote unquote, the first time when we fought all those oil rigs. Those oil rigs that came to life. But it's not too bad at 1080p. I would wait for the fix for 1440p. Before I gave it a go. I would, if you are going to run 1440, disable anti-aliasing, just turn it off. Again, if you're running a higher resolution, the need for anti-aliasing is a lot less. It is MSAA, which is the most, well, one of the most expensive. SSAA, super sampling, is the most expensive form of anti-aliasing, but multi-sample anti-aliasing is, it's quite taxing on the system, really. We'll go back to that first area that we were. We'll do a bit of combat, but I will leave you with the rest of the video. And you know, if you're having any issues, a lot of people again are having issues. People on less powerful cards are having quite a few issues. Again, I can only really test. I might test it on the Dream Machine. Doesn't have the 1 gig of VRAM card anymore. I have done the upgrade, and I will have a video coming to show you its new GPU, but so we might test it on that, which has a lower end card. But it's quite hard because 1080p, 60, yeah, it's not that difficult as you can see for a 1080 for a 1070. Should I say no? I say 1080, 1080p. Too much 1080s. 1080 on the brain. 1070 is what we are running. I like the fact it tells you about your PCI Express slot. That's quite good. But anyway, I don't think that's actually all of the video. We did, that was it. There's no more combat. Anyway, thank you for joining me. We'll see you again soon, and goodbye.